Gentlemen, let me begin with a disturbing fact. The global suicide rate among men is nearly 4 times higher than that of women. That is from the World Health Organization report of 2021. 4 times higher than women. Let that sink in. And yet, men remain the silent sufferers, often collapsing under visible poverty, but under the invisible weight of comfort, illusion, and misplaced trust in systems that don't care about them. Today, I want to talk about Mike, a man whose story is not unique. It's a mirror that is reflecting the plight of thousands of men today. So, who was Mike before the fall? Mike was the kind of man that society points to and says, that guy is doing well. Okay? In terms of his career, he was a respected monitoring and evaluation expert. He was a monitoring an M&E expert in a renowned NGO. His colleagues admired his analytical skills, his punctuality, his cool logic. This was a guy who was always on point. He was a refined M&D expert. In terms of his lifestyle, he was driving a very sleek black Volkswagen Passat, clean, polished, and the quiet hum of its engine was signaling its stability and mint state. In terms of appearance, Mike loved wearing casual slacks, velvet moccasins, tucked in shirts, and he looked like the type of man whose wardrobe whispered competence rather than shouted flash. So he had a good taste when it comes to threads. In terms of social life, you could catch Mike in the pub on Fridays, sipping Tusker, watching Arsenal on the screen, and trading banter with his friends. Okay? He was not an alcoholic, he was not a recluse, just a normal guy. Social life, he knew how to control his drink. In terms of reputation, Mike was known as a reliable guy. He was a provider. He was a calm husband, a good father. His family leaned on him and his friends respected him. He was a reliable guy. From the outside, Mike had made it. Okay? But comfort is one of the deadliest prisons that many men actually live in. So the rug was about to be pulled from under Mike's feet, unbeknownst to him. So when the Donald Trump's presidency, funding cuts tied to shifting DEI initiatives. For those who don't know, DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Remember when Trump was wiping out LGBTQ and these DEI initiatives, this NGO, of course, was affected. So this policy swept through the NGO world. It hit a Frank's organization like a guillotine. One morning, he walked into the office planning his weekend, only to walk out with a termination letter in hand. So, gentlemen, just step back. Research shows that job loss increases the risk of depression in men by nearly 70%. This has been documented by Paul and Mosa. Why? Why does job loss hit men so much? It's because a man's identity is inextricably tied to his ability to provide, to be useful. Many men have been taught by the society that for them to be useful, they must be able to be providers. So for Mike, the paycheck was not just money, it was validation. Without it, the ground beneath him dissolved. How can I look at myself in a mirror? That is what Mike was asking himself. Without his paycheck, what was he? Was he really a man? Okay? Now, one day alone in his apartment, Mike sat, the bills were piling, the shame hung around him. It was as thick, it was so thick you could lean against it. Mike sought some escape. And that is when he stumbled upon a gambling app, okay? Like an aviator. So he saw this as a quick fix. It was a chance. It was probably a chance to redeem himself, so he thought. So he put in 500 bob. He knew gambling is not something that you can rely on. So he put in 500 shillings. He got 1,000. I put in 1,000. He got 2,000. Dopamine flooded his brain. And the high was intoxicating. So for a moment, he felt powerful again. He felt blood surging in his veins. The energy was coming back. He started building castles in the air. He was started to imagine possibilities. So, but like every casino that is dressed in digital clothing, the house won. Within hours, his account was empty. His hope soon followed up after. He lost all hope. So, with trembling hands, Mike walked into a chemist. He looked very smartly dressed as usual, but he was having very dark thoughts in his mind. Mike bought poison. And that is how his story nearly ended. Not with a bang, but with a slow, suffocating silence. So, what I want us to talk about today, gentlemen, is the dangerous illusion of comfort. Mike's tragedy unmasks one brutal truth. It is not the visibly poor who are most vulnerable. It is a comfortable, salaried man. The visibly poor in Kibera slums, okay, or in Dandora slums, is not necessarily more vulnerable than the salaried man in Kileleshwa or Lavington, if that is his only source of income. The man who thinks his paycheck is a shield is very vulnerable. The man who numbs himself with the weekend trips to Naivasha, endless football matches, social drinking, Netflix marathons, and scrolling through Instagram, that man is vulnerable. That man does not realize that he's one paycheck away from irrelevance. Gentlemen, dependence on a single employer is financial suicide in slow motion. So, what we are going to discuss now and what we need to remind ourselves is that the world owes you nothing. It is up to you to put in place your safety net. In The Rational Male, Rollo Tomasi reminds us that men must become and women just are. One day in a podcast, I said that a beautiful woman with the IQ of a monkey can do just well because with her beauty, a man who is rich can actually take her and provide for her all her creature comforts. But if you put the IQ of a monkey on a man, that man is going to end up homeless. He'll be living in the streets like a chokora. And that's why we say men must become, women just are. A man's value is never static. It is measured daily by his competence, by his resilience, and his capacity to produce. So Mike forgot this. He became comfortable, he became stagnant, he stagnated. He thought that stability was permanent. He thought that comfort was safety. But reality is ruthless. In an economy where AI threatens to eliminate 85 million jobs by 2025, that's according to the World Economic Forum, standing still is equivalent to moving backward. Okay? So, gentlemen, we cannot afford to be comfortable. You cannot afford to gain comfort from having one paycheck. You cannot afford to be comfortable because of a degree that you acquired some years ago from the university. You need to make yourself anti-fragile, and that's what I want to talk about. The first thing is you must have multiple streams of income. This is non-negotiable. Depending on one job is like playing Russian roulette. Okay? Build side hustles, create passive income, learn to trade, learn to invest, learn about AI, skill up, have marketable skills, start a business. Let it fail, start another one. You must always be growing as a man. Okay? You have to skill up or stay down. There is no other option. If you're not learning, you're decaying. Okay? You cannot be static. Marketable skills like AI, coding, data analytics, digital marketing, project management, these are some of the shields that you require in today's battlefield. Eliminate weakening distractions. You know, those Netflix marathons, every second you spend in Naivasha, every binge scroll on your phone, on TikTok is 1 hour stolen from your destiny. Replace consumption with creation. Okay? So you must eliminate distractions. Cheap dopamine must be out of your way. Strengthen yourself. Skill up. Then invest in brotherhood and networks. Okay? We normally say that it doesn't matter what skill you have. What matters is who knows that you have that particular skill. So build your networks. Your network is your net worth. Isolation kills, men. You have to build alliances with people who can challenge you to level up, not people who will keep you numb. So choose your friends wisely. Okay? It's very important. If you're not the smartest man in the room, if you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room. Also become bankable. This is very important. This is a question that many men don't ask themselves. Ask yourself, if someone had to assign a dollar value to your existence, will you be an asset or will you be a liability? Are you bankable? Okay? Ask yourself that question. Now, the hard truth is this, and this is a call to action, gentlemen. The world is not kind to weak men. The difference between desperation and domination lies in the skills you build, the disciplines that you adopt, and the brotherhoods that you form. That is what is going to make you resilient and anti-fragile in a quickly changing world. So Mike's fall is a sobering warning. Comfort is a coffin, and dependence is a death sentence. What's the way forward? You have to chase excellence. You have to be anti-fragile. You have to engage in relentless skill building, and you have to take radical ownership of your life. I'll see you on the next one.